This week, I'll be showing you how to shoot in RAW. Shooting in RAW may seem a little bit daunting at first, but it's not that bad, and in the long run, you'll be able to produce much better photographs. If you're editing your photos at all in programs such as Lightroom or Capture One, you may as well be shooting in RAW because it's a very similar process. These are the benefits to shooting in RAW. The RAW file captures a lot of information in the shadows and highlights, so when you push and pull the exposure around a little bit, it can handle it. You also get to control the sharpness and what is sharpened. So in Lightroom, you get masking where you can control what gets sharpened and what doesn't. Whereas when the camera's doing this sharpening, it'll sharpen the whole image. Now I'm a firm believer in getting it right in camera, but if you mess up on the white balance, when you shoot in RAW, it doesn't really matter. It stores all of your white balance information, so you can go from the lowest Kelvin number right through to the highest number, and it stores all of that information. So with white balance, I tend to use the presets. If I'm shooting outdoors, I'll set white balance to outdoors. If I'm shooting indoors and they're tungsten colored lights, I'll set the white balance to tungsten. When you take pictures, there's a lot to think about. So if you leave the editing till afterwards, then you have more time to tweak and tune your photograph. When you shoot JPEG, the camera does all the editing for you. You can tweak and tune a JPEG a little bit, but the picture will start to fall apart a lot earlier. There are a few downsides to shooting in RAW. Obviously, with this greater latitude, there's more information stored, so the files are going to be bigger. When you first bring the image into Lightroom or Capture One, it looks quite flat, so it does need processing. Nowadays, people use filters and edit their photos, even on their phone, so you may as well learn to do this properly. Once you get a program like Lightroom or Capture One, you're going to have to learn how to use it. The best way to do this is to get out and take photographs. I use Lightroom, and I have done for a while now. If you haven't got Lightroom and you want to start shooting in RAW, I'll put a link in the description below. This will take you to a trial version. And if you're not sure whether you want to invest in Lightroom, remember editing is half the process. You spent all this money on the camera, you might as well invest some money in editing software to make your photographs the best they can be. Most cameras have an option where you can shoot both a JPEG and a RAW. So for every one photo you take, you get 2 copies. So I'll just quickly take you through the process. First of all, you want to set the camera to RAW. So go into your camera and go into menu, and on the Sony's you can see it's in this first little tab, and then it's number 1. Scroll down to quality, and there you'll see your different options. You have RAW, RAW and JPEG, extra fine, fine and standard. If you're not quite sure, set it to RAW and JPEG. But if you want to dive in, just set to RAW. And that's it. The next thing you want to do is just go out and shoot as normal. Once you finish shooting and you're back home, import your images into Lightroom or whichever software you're using, and then edit them as normal. If you're not sure how to use the piece of software that you have, there's a lot of videos on YouTube, so just search the basics. Most bits of editing software will have these sliders. You want to work your way through them and become familiar with what each one does. Like I said before, the image may start off looking flatter than you used to, but with a little bit of practice, with these sliders, you can really make your images pop. Basically, there's not much to it. It's just a case of taking the plunge, setting your camera to RAW, and then just altering your workflow to suit. Then just get out there and shoot. And I always say this, but the only way you're going to get better at photography is to go out and shoot on a regular basis. So here's a challenge. Try shooting in RAW for a month. Get out at least once a week, if not more. If you can, get out 3 or 4 times a week, if not daily. Then when you come back, process your images in the software that you have. The trial version of Lightroom lasts a month, so in this first month you'll be able to see if you like it or not. Then let me know how you get on. If you have any issues, again leave a comment below or email me. It'd be great if I can help you get through this process and produce better images. And that's about it. Don't be disheartened if your images look flat at first. With a little bit of research and a little bit of learning in the program that you're using, your images will really start to shine. If you have any other tips on shooting in RAW or ways to help you through the process, leave a comment below or drop me an email. It'd be great to hear your ideas. As always, give me a thumbs up if you like what you see, a thumbs down if you didn't. And for weekly tutorials, hints and tips on photography, subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one.